All right, let's just jump right in. Today, we're going to tackle a really big idea, one that's kind of running in the background of pretty much all of our lives, and that's the whole concept of success. But here's the kicker. What if the entire story we've been sold is a lie?
I mean, really think about it. Is money, fame, status, is that actually success? Or have we just been trained, almost brainwashed, to worship this big illusion? You know, from the time we're kids, we're just bombarded with these images of what success is supposed to look like, right? The big house, the fast car, the fancy job title. But is that a real goal or just a beautiful trap we've all been taught to run towards?
So, where does this whole idea even come from? Well, it's like society hands us this pre-written script, this universal checklist for how to live a successful life. It's a story that gets hammered into us so often that we almost never stop and ask, wait a minute, who even wrote this thing?
And yep, here are the steps. I'm guessing this looks pretty darn familiar, huh? Get good grades, land a respectable job, make a bunch of money, buy a bunch of stuff. And all the while, you're just climbing, constantly climbing this invisible ladder that leads, well, where does it lead? What's at the top? It's all a bit vague, isn't it?
And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. Success, as our culture defines it, isn't really about living a life that feels authentic and good to you. No, it's a performance. It's a show you put on for everyone else. It's like running a race that has no finish line. It's designed to keep you running forever, so you never actually get to stop and enjoy the view.
Okay, so what's the big deal? What actually happens when you dedicate your whole life to this performance? Well, there's a price to pay for chasing this illusion. A pretty steep one, actually. Let's break it down and really unpack what that price is.
This isn't some hot new take. People have been warning us about this trap for literally centuries. The ancient Stoics were asking, how can you possibly be successful if you can't even control your own mind? The Buddha taught that our attachment to external stuff, status, money, all of it, is the actual root of all our suffering. And what's amazing is modern psychology totally backs this up. It shows that the thrill you get from a promotion or buying a new car is just a temporary dopamine hit. It's not real lasting fulfillment.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We're not really addicted to success itself. We're addicted to the validation we think it's going to bring us. See, we think we're chasing the achievement, but what we're really after is that feeling of approval, that sense of being seen as good enough by other people. It's a hunt for external validation to try and patch up an internal hole.
And that chase, man, it has some serious real-world consequences. We're talking about constant burnout from the endless hustle culture, crippling anxiety about whether you're keeping up with everyone else, the absolute poison of scrolling through social media and comparing your life to theirs. And maybe the worst part of all, you risk losing who you really are in the process.
Just think about the trade-off for a second. We get the promotion, but we lose our peace. We get more stuff, but we might lose our connection to the people we love. We get more visibility, more followers, but we might lose our own authenticity along the way, turning ourselves into a brand instead of a person. Seriously, is that a trade you're willing to make?
All right, so if the old model is totally broken, then what's the alternative? This is where things get really interesting. We're going to shift gears now from tearing down the old idea to building a new one. It's all about stopping, turning away from that external checklist, and instead starting to listen to your own internal compass.
And this is the question that can change everything. What if success isn't universal? What if it's something that is uniquely 100% yours? I mean, just imagine that for a second. It's not some one-size-fits-all jacket you have to squeeze into. It's something deeply personal that you get to design for you, based on what truly matters to you.
So here it is, a completely new way to think about it. True success isn't about what you have, it's about who you are. It's an internal state of being. It's measured by how aligned you feel with your own values, and by having the courage to be your authentic self, whether anyone is clapping for you or not.
So, if we're going to use a new definition, that means we need some new ways to measure it, right? Forget salary and job titles for a minute. What if the new metrics were things like freedom,
peace, growth, impact, alignment. What if that's how we measured a successful life? I mean, that's a whole different ballgame, a completely different way of keeping score.
And that is the big, powerful mindset shift. You stop chasing something outside of yourself, something that, let's be honest, could be taken away in an instant. Instead, you start creating it. You build it from the inside out. Success becomes a part of who you are, not just something you own.
Which brings us to the end of our journey today. But in a way, it's really just the beginning of yours. Because after tearing all this apart, the focus now shifts. It's no longer about this big, abstract idea. It's about you. It's about your life. It's your story to write.
So I want to leave you with one final and maybe the most important question of all. Are you living your definition of success, or are you living out someone else's dream? Seriously, take a second and think about it. Is the ladder you're busting your butt to climb leaning against the right wall? Or is it a dream you just kinda inherited from your parents, or from culture, or just from what you see online?
Because here's the thing. The biggest lie we've been told isn't that success is hard to get. The biggest lie is that success is something outside of you in the first place. We're taught that the whole struggle is about achieving it. But the real prize, the real treasure, it's been inside you this whole time.
So the invitation here is simple, but it's not easy. It's profound. Let go of their definition. Create your own. It's time to rewrite the story.